Good morning, students. Welcome again. Today we will start with History, Chapter 1, The Rise of Nationalism in Europe, Part 6. In the previous class, we learned about unification of Germany. Today we will discuss about unification of Italy and the strange case of Britain. We will start with the first subtopic explaining about unification of Italy. Like Germany, Italy also had a long history of political fragmentation. Italy had scattered dynasties and Habsburg Empire. In mid-19th century, Italy was divided into 7 states, of which only Sardinia region was ruled by Italian princely house. The north was under Austrian Habsburgs, the center was ruled by the Pope, and the south region were under the domination of the Bourbon kings of Spain. Later, in the 1830s, Giuseppe Mazzini was the prominent leader who worked for the unification of Italy. In the year 1831, Mazzini formed a secret society called Young Italy. The Young Italy encouraged young men to join and support the cause of Italian unification. The aim of Young Italy was the unification and independence of Italy, but it failed. Thus, King Victor Emmanuel II, ruler of Sardinia Piedmont, took the responsibility to unify the Italian states through war, for which he got wholehearted support of his chief minister, Cavour. Later, Cavour led the movement to unify the regions of Italy. Cavour was neither a revolutionary nor a democrat. He did not know Italian language. He was a French speaker. Through tactful diplomatic alliance with France, Cavour defeated Austrian forces in 1859. Further, Garibaldi, with his armed volunteers, also joined the fray. Fray means fight or battle. Garibaldi was the major supporter of Mazzini. Garibaldi formed an army which was in the name of Red Shirts, and he marched to the south of Italy and the kingdom of Two Sicilies and succeeded in winning the support of the peasants and removed all the Spanish rulers from that region and freed the Italian states from Bourbon rulers. With this, the unification of Italy was completed, and in 1861, Victor Emmanuel II was proclaimed as the King of United Italy. However, much of the Italians was illiterate and unaware of liberal and nationalist ideology. This was the map of Italy before unification and after unification. Here you can see the states of Italy before unification. The richest and the strongest Italian state was Sardinia, which included Piedmont, followed by Lombardy, Venetia, Parma, Modena, Tuscany were under Austria. Then the Papal State, comprising Rome and central Italy, belongs to Pope. And here the kingdom of the Two Sicilies under Spanish control. Here in this map, you can see the years in which the different regions became part of unified Italy. Now let's move on to the next topic explaining about the unification of Britain, or else the case of Britain. In Britain, The development of nationalism followed a different pattern from the rest of Europe. In Britain, emergence of nationalism was not the result of the sudden upheaval. There was no British nation prior to the 18th century. In Britain, there were different ethnic groups such as English, Welsh, Scot, or the Irish. These ethnic groups had different cultures and traditions. Later, the English group steadily grew up in power, wealth, and importance and extended its influence over others. The English Parliament seized power from the monarchy in 1688 and became the instrument to set up England as its center. The Act of Union 1707 between England and Scotland resulted in the formation of United Kingdom of Great Britain in effect, and England was able to put their influence on Scotland. But what happened was the British Parliament was dominated by English members, and Scotland's culture was later on suppressed. Catholics from Scotland suffered suppression because Catholics formed the majority of Scotland. Scottish Highlanders were forbidden to speak their own native language, Gaelic, or wear their national dress. And those were the things that happened, and finally Scotland was forcibly taken into the part of England. Similar to Scotland, we have the case of Ireland. In Ireland, we have Protestants and Catholics. And Protestants tried to establish power over Catholic nations. The Catholics revolted against British dominance and they were suppressed. And finally, Ireland was forcibly incorporated into UK in 1801. The symbol of New Britain was basically a British flag, a national anthem, and English language that was actively promoted. Now in the next slide, we can see the picture of Mazzini, Victor Emmanuel II, Count Cavour, and Garibaldi. With this, we concluded unification of Italy and the case of Britain. Now let's have a recap of today's class. Today we start learning from the unification of Italy. Italy was divided into 7 states in the middle of the 19th century, and among all the seven states, Sardinia-Piedmont was ruled by an Italian princely house. All the regions were dominated by different kings. In the 1830s, Giuseppe Mazzini formed a secret society called Young Italy. The movement was led by Chief Minister Cavour. In 1859, Sardinia-Piedmont defeated Austrian forces. In 1860, they marched into South Italy and the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies and succeeded in winning the support of the local peasants. In 1861, Victor Emmanuel II was proclaimed as the King of Unified Italy. Finally, we discussed about the case of Britain. Great Britain was the model of the nation, and prior to the 18th century, there was no British nation. The nation became powerful as it steadily grew in wealth, importance, and power. The Act of Union 1707 between England and Scotland resulted in the formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain, and England was able to put its influence on Scotland. In 1801, Ireland was forcibly incorporated into the United Kingdom. The symbols of the New Britain, the British flag, the national anthem, and the English language were actively promoted. By this, we concluded today's class. If you have any doubts, you can mail to dmcsonlinequeries@gmail.com. Thank you, students. Have a good day ahead.